Good morning, Sam. Please have a seat.
Good morning, Rajesh. Thank you.
Let's start. Tell me briefly about your current role at PS Tech Pvt Ltd.
Sure. I'm currently working as a software engineer in the QA team. My main responsibilities include understanding user stories, creating detailed test scenarios, executing manual and automated test cases, and reporting defects. I also actively participate in Agile ceremonies like daily stand-ups, sprint planning, and retrospectives. Over the last few years, I've contributed to building our automation suite using Robot Framework.
You are in a sprint. A developer says a feature is ready on day 3. But when you test, you find the acceptance criteria is only half implemented. What do you do?
In that case, I would first double-check the acceptance criteria and compare it with what has been implemented. I would then have a quick sync with the developer to confirm if the rest of the implementation is pending or missed. If it's genuinely incomplete, I would mark the user story as blocked in Jira and raise the issue in the stand-up. I may also log a defect or initiate a discussion with the product owner if there's ambiguity.
You start testing a build in QA but realize after 2 hours that it was a lower environment build. What's your course of action?
That has actually happened once. The moment I realized, I immediately stopped testing and informed the DevOps team and my lead. I documented the issue clearly, mentioned the build version deployed, and asked for the correct build to be redeployed. After the right build was confirmed, I repeated the tests that were already done earlier to ensure everything was valid. Since then, I always validate the build version before starting testing.
Your sprint team is running behind due to several high-priority bugs found in regression. How do you handle this situation?
I would apply risk-based testing. I'd identify critical business flows and ensure those are tested first. I'd skip or deprioritize low-risk and cosmetic areas. Also, I'd discuss with my team if we can distribute the testing load or use automation to speed up sanity testing. Communication with the PO and Scrum Master is also key, so we can possibly reduce story scope if needed.
Walk me through your understanding of SDLC and where QA fits in.
In our projects, SDLC starts from requirement gathering. QA gets involved from this stage to review and clarify requirements. During design, we review design documents and prepare test planning. During development, we write test cases and set up test data. Once the build is ready, we do various levels of testing: functional, integration, regression. After release, we support user production verification. So QA is involved throughout, not just at the end.
In STLC, how do you ensure test coverage during the test design phase?
We use a traceability matrix where each requirement is mapped to at least one test case. I also conduct peer reviews of test cases to ensure no scenario is missed. Additionally, I interact with developers and business analysts to identify edge cases that might not be documented but are still important.
Tell me about a time when you reported a defect but the developer rejected it. How did you resolve it?
There was a case where the card total was incorrect when applying a discount coupon. The developer rejected the bug saying it was expected. I reproduced the issue again with a detailed description, added logs, screenshots, and even attached a video. I also referred to the user story, which clearly stated the expected behavior. After discussion in the defect triage, the issue was accepted and fixed.
You found a critical bug just before the release, but the release manager insists the release must go on. What do you do?
First, I assess the exact impact of the bug. Does it affect core functionality or edge cases? Then, I immediately inform the QA lead, product owner, and release manager. I classify it as a showstopper if needed and document it clearly. In one instance, we had to delay the release by a day because I raised a critical payment gateway issue. So, I make sure the risk is clearly communicated to decision makers.
How do you decide which test cases to automate?
We automate test cases that are stable, repeatable, and run frequently, like login, navigation, and regression flows. When time or frequently changing scenarios are kept for manual testing. I also consider the time saved per execution versus automation effort while choosing.
Describe the automation framework you've worked on.
I've worked on a custom automation framework using a Robot Framework. It's a keyword-driven approach that allows for readable and reusable test cases. We integrated it with Jenkins for CI/CD, and used custom Python libraries for REST API validations and AI interaction. The results are automatically pushed into HTML reports, and we maintain tagging for better traceability.
How do you handle flaky tests?
First, I identify whether the flakiness is due to the application or the test itself. If it's due to timing, I optimize weights using robot frameworks built in wait until element is visible or custom retry logic. If it's locator related, I use stable identifiers. In one case, a test failed due to inconsistent test data, so I created a setup routine to clean and reset test data before execution.
What's the difference between severity and priority? Give a real-life example of high severity but low priority.
Severity is the impact of the defect, and priority is how soon it needs to be fixed. For example, once we had a crash in an admin report module which was rarely used. That was high severity because the app crashed, but low priority because it didn't affect most users.
Walk me through the defect lifecycle in your project.
In our project, a defect starts as new, then gets assigned to the developer. After fixing, it moves to ready for cut. We test it, and if it's fine, we mark it closed. If not, it goes to reopened. We also use labels for environment and priority. During triage, we discuss any conflicts or blocker issues.
What's your role during sprint planning and stand-ups?
During sprint planning, I estimate testing efforts for each story and call out any dependencies or risks. I also review acceptance criteria closely. During daily stand-ups, I update on what I tested, defects found, and any blockers. If something is delayed, I raise it early.
Do you use any metrics to measure testing effectiveness?
Yes. We track test coverage, test case execution rate, defect leakage, and reopen rate. I also send daily execution reports and maintain a dashboard in Jira showing test progress and defect trends.
Why are you looking to leave PS Tech Pvt Ltd?
I've learned a lot here and had a good journey. But I feel it's time for a new challenge where I can take on more responsibility, especially in QA strategy and process improvement. I also want to work with newer technologies and contribute to a more mature QA culture.
What's your current salary, and what are your expectations?
I'm currently drawing $700K per annum. Based on my skill set, market benchmarks, and contributions to automation and process enhancement, I'm looking for a package in the range of $1,100 to $1,200K per annum.
How soon can you join?
My notice period is 3 months. Once I receive the formal offer letter, I'll initiate the resignation process immediately. During that time, I'll ensure a thorough knowledge transfer.
Great. That's all from my side. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Could you please share more about the QA team structure and the type of projects I'd be working on?
Sure. We have a mid-sized QA team and work on both product and client projects. I'll connect you with the QA lead for a deeper discussion. Sam, here's my feedback. You've demonstrated strong real-world experience and clarity in your thought process. Your automation and problem-solving skills are solid. Try to keep some answers a bit more concise, but overall, well done. We'll get back to you shortly.
Thank you so much, Rajesh. I appreciate the opportunity and the feedback.
Thanks for coming. See you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.